Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. If you're new to this channel, my name is Grace, and here we talk about containers, interior design, tiny spaces, alternative living, and we would love to have you join our family. Today I'm doing this video seated on my floor in my container house, and basically because I'll be talking about flooring options, and in particular the flooring options that I've used in this particular house, how they have managed to hold in I've been in the house now for about 14 months, how they've managed to hold all through, what I have changed, what I don't like about the options, what I've realized about the options. Basically, a review and update of my container house flooring. I have used tiles and floor laminates. I've used two types of floor laminates from two different suppliers. One I believe is imported, the other one is locally made. And so I will review both, how they've managed to hold up, how they scratch, if there is any damage to them, what extent of damage they have. Then on my wet areas, I've decided to use ceramic tiles, that is in the kitchen and in the bathroom and toilet. For this particular review, I'll be concentrating on the kitchen floor because I did an update on my kitchen floor. Just recently, I changed my kitchen tiles from 300 by 300 small tiles to 600 by 600 tiles. One, because I realized the 300 by 300 tiles were breaking very easily, and I needed my floor to look a little bit neater than what it was initially. And so I figured maybe increasing the size would first help in the durability of my flooring, as well as making it look neater, since I'll have very few lines in terms of the spaces we leave between tiles. It has been a few days since I've had this 60 by 60 tiles, and so far so good. What I have however noticed with my flooring, especially the tile works, when I fit them on my container floor, I fit them right on top of the original wooden floor of the container, and it takes a while. You can see from the print on the tiles, it takes a while to dry up completely. I've had this installed here for a few days, and I can still see some trace of wetness around the tiles. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly in this shot, but yes, that's what I've noticed with this flooring, that it takes a while, a few days, maybe weeks, to completely dry and not show this wet print around the tiles. I'm not so sure if it's how we did it or just that's how tiles behave. I'm seeing this for the second time. I saw it with my first tile, I'm seeing it with this other option. I opened the container doors to have more space added to my kitchen, and so this extension for the flooring bit, I created a floor using a black sheet MS plate, normal MS plate. Then I have tiled it on top. I had a few challenges with my first size of tiles. I had to install the tiles around this extension twice. The first ones would break and just come off, and so I had those ones removed. Then I installed a chicken wire or a chicken mesh to at least help with the grip of the mortar, the cement or the adhesive that holds the tiles to the flooring. On my other areas of use, the living room and the bedroom area, I have installed floor laminates, the TNG kind of floor laminates. So I'll talk about them individually. This particular floor laminates were bought from Yasian, I think Yasian Interiors along Mombasa Road in Nairobi, and I believe they are imported floor laminates. They are easy to install. You can easily do it yourself. You first place an underlay on your floor after you've dusted off your floor and you are sure it's perfectly clean. You do an underlay, then you place your flooring with the TNG system. What I like about this flooring is the fact that even before I purchased this particular print, they had a variety. I loved the choices they had. I also love how smooth they look. You won't feel the texture, but you can see the texture. I love the visual aesthetics of this flooring. It looks really high-end, I would say. It's easy to clean. It's warm. It's warm compared to the tiles. We all know tiles can be very cold in the mornings or at night or during the cold season. This is a little warmer than the floor tiles, and that's why they are in the cozy spaces, bedroom area and the living room area. So you can see that the joints are visible, though not too visible. It gives the feeling of wood planks having been installed instead of the floor laminates. Floor laminates are manufactured boards. From the texture to the composition is artificially engineered. One thing I knew before purchasing this floor laminates or any other floor laminates, both this and the top one, is the fact that I know they're sensitive to water. But being in a space that I don't use alone, I've had few people help me clean or stay around. I have had to warn them on how to mop the flooring, meaning you are safer dry mopping than the usual African way of wet mopping. Then you dry later. This would have you dry mop just so you don't have the water seep into the joints and destroying the flooring. Having used this floor for 1 year, it has shown a few issues, a few side effects, and it's important to note that I mop the flooring every day, and sometimes with every use, sometimes you have spills that you'd not realize immediately, that you'd come only realize later. And these spills might have a damage to your flooring. I have one part of this flooring in the living room area that has been damaged by water. And you can see right where we have the joint, where you can clearly tell there was a seep of water, there's a bit of swelling around that region. And so those few panels that were placed around that joint have a bit of swelling. I have also experienced a few scratches on my floor. These scratches I also live with pets, so I think some of them are from pets, some of them are from just the day-to-day use of the flooring. With this kind of flooring, I don't need to have carpets cover the floor. I had carpets initially, but I gave them out. I have not used any carpets here since I moved in. One, because I have pets. Two, because I didn't see the need of using them. Though maybe for aesthetic purposes, I'll try once, just see how it looks, how it feels, how it holds up. Then I'll give an update on that. But since installation of this floor, I've not covered it with any other thing. One thing I would like to have had done, or I would have or I would want to know how to do, would be to waterproof floor laminates. From my research, I've realized the number of people who say floor laminates cannot be waterproofed if they are not waterproof floor laminates. But I still think there is something one can apply, something like a wax or a polish that someone can apply on floor laminates so they don't get damaged too easily with water. Though without even that protective layer, I know they have the natural polish that comes with it. That's why you are able to mop it. But I believe it had, I wish it had an extra layer of protection, maybe an extra layer of wax to just be sure. Now let me take you to the top flooring. It's also a floor laminate. This I believe is done locally, and I bought this set from Comply Wood Industries, I believe. Yeah, and they have limited variety of floor finishes. I think they have about 5, maybe 6 types of floor finishes, and the print, in my honest opinion, I think they could do better. They could try imitate the wood flooring better. This looks a little too perfect for my liking, but it was the closest shade I could get to whatever I had on the lower container, and I wanted to have two types of flooring from 2 different suppliers, just in case one fails me. At least I have one that I could use, or one that I could count on. So I went with this option, but I would have loved a different kind of print, maybe something similar to what I have on the lower laminate option. Because of the tactile texture it has, I have realized that if you have a spill on it, something like a paint, you can hardly just wipe off a spill. You need to take a little bit extra care on a spill. What I don't like about this flooring is I feel like it's a little bit too sensitive to water, as opposed to the one in the lower container. You can actually see the joints lifting. Maybe it's psychological, but for this laminate, they sometimes feel a little bit colder than the lower ones. It's still a little bit warmer compared to the tiles, but it feels slightly colder than the lower laminates. Maybe it's psychological. I cannot really say for sure that this option is colder than the lower one. This is just my assumption. It could be psychological. I have to repeat. Yes, I'm not saying for sure that these ones are colder than the other one. Nonetheless, I still like them. I still feel they're a good tiling option, other than the fact that you need to warn users over time on how to clean them. And yeah, so that's basically it. So yeah, other than the fact that I think they need, or we need to figure out a way to waterproof this flooring, I still feel floor laminates are a good option, but it has a number of precautions that you need to take in place, as opposed to tiles. Tiles, you know, once you install them, the use is pretty straightforward, and they hardly have things that could damage them apart from cracking or having had things drop on them. The use, maintenance, I think it's pretty straightforward. Now, it's important to note that if you have a damaged portion of laminates, I could be wrong, I stand corrected, but I feel if you have a damaged part on your floor laminates, especially if it's in somewhere in the middle, I think you'll have to undo most part of your flooring until you get to that damaged piece, remove it, replace it with a better piece, and that feels a little hectic compared to tiling. For tiling, you can easily just break off that tile that has issues and replace that one tile. You don't need to tamper with any other tile that is in good condition. For laminates, it's different. You have to remove the ones before it until you get to it. mainly because of the TNG system of installation. But good thing is you can easily do it yourself. You don't need to find someone else to come in and do it for you. So that's it for my floor update. I know there are a number of other floorings in the market. You can do epoxy flooring, you can do mazeras. I've had a client request for mazeras. You can do normal polishing of the original container floor. You can do, I know there are quite a number. You can do what we locally call mkeka wa mbao. And yeah, for this review is basically tiling and laminates. If you have any tips for me, feel free to comment down below with the tip. Let me know what I'm missing out on. Let me know if there is something I'm not considering when handling these tiles. I know someone mentioned that it would have been better to do this same flooring in the kitchen area, but now you know I cannot have this flooring in a wet area. They are not very friendly with water. They're not very good friends. And so in my wet areas where I know I could experience a lot of spills, I prefer using tiles. Yeah, till next time, don't forget to like, share and comment on this video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the flooring options, what you think about this video, and also feel free to tell me what you'd want me to review about the house. In the meantime, have a good month. Have a good new month, or have a new good month. Group of schools. But thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've not subscribed yet, feel free to hit the subscription bell and the notification bell. Don't forget to stay safe and stay creative. Until next time, bye.